Oh, I don't know. I've got to check to make sure my colours haven't run into me whites.
Oh, well, it's your own fault for putting red in. You did that.
Oh, I know, but the dress needed a wash.
Activate your energy.
Welcome to the Activated Authors Podcast, a show where we distill the core principles of what it takes to become a happy, healthy, and productive author, no matter what stage of the journey you're at. I'm your host, Daniel Willcocks. I'm an international best-selling author, as well as an author coach, speaker, and creative entrepreneur. But most importantly, I'm a lifelong student of all things productivity, psychology, and human behaviour. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. Without further ado, let's dive in. What is up, Activators? And welcome back to another episode of the Activated Authors Podcast with myself, Daniel Willcocks, and here with me every single week is...
The always prepared Samantha Frost.
Always prepared.
That was going to be hilarious because I thought my water was over there, but it's actually down my bare feet. So I am always prepared.
Oh, so you're going to dash off and be like, always prepared. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
I'll be back. How's it going, Sam?
I don't feel good, Dan.
Tell me. Tell Dr. Dan.
I'm pretty sure I've got tonsillitis and it really hurts and it's starting to just bum me out, man.
Yeah.
I feel like crap. I'm really tired. My throat, like there's when you get a cold and you get a sore throat.
Yes.
There's a sore throat and then there's my throat
It's on
hurts
fire.
sore throat, and it feels raw is the only way I can describe it, like at the sides here and slightly at the back, but mostly here. And when I you can tell that, like, as a trauma response, I go to independence, because when I went into the bathroom to look at my tonsils by myself, because I was like, who else is going to do this other than a doctor, which good fucking luck. Yeah, I was just in the bathroom, like, giving myself an examination, and I've got like
Oral examination.
An oral examination, yeah, slightly sex tape. And I've got like all white spots, like on here, and then kind of like a marbling effect of white and angry red at the sides. Yeah, and just under here feels like golf balls. So that's all swelling up and it's affecting my hearing, and yeah. It's just a bit crappy. Yeah. But there we go. How about you? How are you? How are you doing? I know everything's like fine, so try not to rub it in that your life is amazing.
No, it's going swimmingly. No, I am. Oh no, to be honest, like I don't know the best way to answer that question. Because obviously on the podcast said to always be honest and always be transparent. Like I just it's this kind of leaks a little bit into my key takeaway for this week, is like just that very, very heavy reminder that life has priorities, and certain things need to be addressed before you can look at other things. And like I kind of alluded to some stuff over the last few weeks, but essentially I can't remember how much I've said on the podcast, but I am in a position in which I basically have to move again, which really, really sucks for me, because this place, when I bought it in November of 2021, so 15 months ago,
yes,
was meant to be the place that I stick around for a while, because my son was nearby, like it was a place to settle, like all that kind of stuff. And without going into the politics and the nitty gritty of stuff, my son no longer lives nearby, and so therefore I've had to try to put in some kind of plan to get moving closer to him again, which involves another 2 moves over the next potential year and a half. And yeah, it's just, getting, like, the amount of effort it took to get into the position where I could get here, and the relief and all that kind of stuff has been not wiped clean, because I had a good little while I was here.
It's at least 3 weeks.
It's at least 3 weeks. But yeah, I'm now at the point where I'm in the midst of all of that kind of admin stuff, which has meant that very much my own work has taken a big step back in terms of creativity. Like, I'm still producing stuff, but like a lot of things I need to turn, or thought I needed to turn my attention to, I'm just unable to at the minute. And just because of comparisonitis and all that kind of stuff, just an insight into my situation, I do live by myself. I don't really have many people who live nearby that can help out and things. And then at the same time, my hands and my fingers and my wrist and my arms have started to flare up with a lot more pain, which is making things even more difficult. So I am trying to push through a lot of that stuff and just chip away at whatever that next block is. Like there's no what's the word? Like there's no alternative. Like it's just I have to keep putting one foot in front of the other to do the things that I need to do. And because I've decided that rather than sell this place as a bit of an income generator, I'm going to let it out and become a bit of a land baron. I am learning all of the new process of what that entails. So yeah, there's a lot that I'm trying to work through at the minute on top of trying to keep on top of work, and I'm managing. Just like, you know, it's difficult, but I think rather than constantly teasing and alluding to it as I have the last few weeks, like there you go, that's kind of the situation at present. Like the activated authors who have been in the sprints know a lot of this stuff already. They're obviously like supportive and lovely and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just a case of the next few months are going to be pretty disruptive, and I've just got to move forward and make that happen. So as I say, leaking that into the key takeaway, it very much does come back to a reminder of stuff that I do, you know, tell people all the time, that like if you're struggling at certain points to get the work down, or you feel like annoyed at yourself because you're unable to sit down and write in the mornings as you have been for the last year, 2 years, whatever it is, because, you know, someone in your family has health issues, like you've gone through a breakup, like school terms have happened and they're back into half term, that kind of stuff. Like, you know, it's the ebb and flow of life, and it's being aware of your own situation so you can take the kindness that you need to yourself to keep moving forward. So there you go. Roundabout way to say I'm A-okay.
Yes, very good. It sounds all perfect. A-okay territory.
So wonderful. I am very tired, I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah, same.
yeah, I know you are as well.
I'm sorry though. I mean, like, obviously we've had many conversations about this, but just I'm sorry. This just really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you're having to go through that again.
Yeah. But in news of projects and so actually before we get into that, I might change the format a little bit just because some of this will lead to your camera's doing that again.
It's incredible. Oh, it's okay.
Rather than doing our update now on kind of what's going on and stuff, just to set the context for this episode, because of my situation, the fact I'm exhausted, because Sam has a very, very poorly throat and is also very exhausted. This conversation is going to be a little bit different from some of the previous ones, so it's less about, you know, a theme, topic, or question, and we're just going to have a little bit of a chat about, you know, what we're working on, kind of an update on all things creative and artsy and whatnot. So by the looks of it, I might be doing a lot of the talking.
No, I'll be all right. I'm a professional, mate.
Okay. But yeah, so stick around if you want to just get like a behind the scenes glimpse of all of the things that I'm up to, all the things that Sam's up to, and you know, we got some updates and things about flash fiction and all that kind of stuff. So before we get into that, Sam, what is your key takeaway for the week?
My key takeaway for the week is that you should always have some form of ice cream in the freezer, because when tonsillitis hits and you don't have any, it fucking sucks.
What's your go-to?
What, ice cream?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it depends. Because I'm a big mint choc chip fan, but if them choc chips are shit, you've just ruined my entire experience. I don't have to spit the choc chips out like pips. So good mint choc chip, or just mint. Like if you can't follow through with the choc chip, don't put them in. Just do mint.
Just mint.
I also really like salted caramel. But again, good salted caramel. If it comes in a tub this big that's like one color and then has a sticker on the top, I'm not interested.
Yep.
I also really like rum and raisin, because apparently I'm a grandma.
Some rum and raisin ice cream.
Yeah, I like rum. I like raisins. I like ice cream. What's not to love?
Perfect. Mine tends to be, I don't know why, but I really like the cheap store brand versions of sort of like salted caramel or toffee or butterscotch, like cornettos.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. There's something because I don't know. They're just lovely. I love it when you get that final bit at the bottom and it's just like stuffed with chocolate.
I'm so sorry. I think I misunderstood. I thought you meant just an ice cream flavor. If we're talking about my go-to ice cream, it's a Twister, my friend. Every single time.
Very different to everything you've just said up until this point.
Yeah, I know. Because I thought you meant like a tub of ice cream. What's my go-to flavor for a tub of ice cream?
No.
So I misunderstood. Although I will say that Ben and Jerry's did a frozen yogurt, dark chocolate, and raspberry ice cream not that long back, and that was their shit. But if we just took like ice cream that you get from a single serve that you get from the freezer, then Twister original. I'm not interested in anything other than the original. Yourself. And an Oreo ice cream sandwich.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah. My favorite Ben and Jerry's is caramel suture. It is
That tracks.
divine. It is absolutely divine. But yeah, and one thing that I've always loved that I've never understood is like cameras frozen again.
I know, I'm on it.
Is like we don't measure ice cream in the UK.
What you mean, like a quart?
Yeah, but like I love watching US sitcoms and seeing like, oh, I sat down and had a pint of ice cream, or I had like a liter or like a gallon of ice cream. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
No, I had ice cream until there was no more ice cream. That's how I measure it.
I finished the ice cream.
I finished the ice cream, then I went to bed because my tummy hurt.
Yeah. There you go. You don't come here for writing advice, you come here for ice cream flavors.
I should really text my sister and tell her to bring me some ice cream back, but I threw my phone over there because it went off and I was like, no, I'm being professional.
There we go. Our win from the community this week, we are officially awarding to Emma Jeffrey, who has now successfully moved several countries over and is in the place where I believe she's going to be settling for a while. So congrats, Emma. I'm glad the move went all well, and I look forward to seeing you settle in and thrive in Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I love being international as well as like a community. It's very rewarding. Okay, so into the question, which isn't really a question. But as I say, like we'll just kind of go through and talk about what we're up to, how things are going. So I know you've got a fair chunk of creative things going on at the minute, which sound quite fun that I don't think we've fully updated on. So would you like to begin, Sam? What's going on? What are you working on?
Well, this week mostly I've been working on what I call a life stock check because of the amount of shit that is going on. So if you're watching, I will move out of the way. There is a whiteboard there. And that has got some of the bits on. And I've basically just been sat going through and writing down every single thing. From Frostbite to Mistress of None to Activated Authors to my personal life. And then I've been kind of assigning them to whether they're like past or like properties held. So things like websites and Instagram, that kind of thing, not as in like I own them, but stuff that is my responsibility to like look after and post and things like that. Things that I'm currently doing, things that will be coming up shortly, future ideas, and then any kind of maintenance. So again, like website, social media, Patreon, all that kind of stuff. Not that I've done anything with Patreon yet, but yeah. But the main, that's just so I'm not missing things out or dropping the ball on things, or so I can like pinpoint the shit that I'm not interested in doing anymore, or that isn't serving, whatever, and I can get rid of that. And then I've got a beautiful camera.
Yeah, you do.
That's for my birthday and Christmas for the next 11 years from my mum. We worked it out. Because bless her, she was just like, you need one, because I think I've mentioned on here before, like I enjoy vlogging, but the only way I could do it was on my phone, and the problem is that like it takes up so much memory that it then kind of like will go to the iCloud or something, and then trying to get that footage back onto your phone so I can get it onto the editor was a nightmare, and I lost so much stuff, and I just got to the point where I was like, this isn't worth it, because I'm working my arse off and then there's nothing there that I can share with people. So I sent out a request to my nearest and dearest people that are most likely to get me anything for my birthday, and just said, like, if this is something you're capable of doing, like as in getting me a present this year, could you just please send me just a bit of money, because I'm trying to save up for a camera. And Mum was just like, right, figure out how many Christmases and birthdays it is. So I now have a camera, thanks to my mum, which is currently on time lapse. So I'm back vlogging again as of yesterday. So that's nice. Although I must say it's very strange. Oh my Lord. Just amazing.
Yeah.
It's not just that, if it was just a freeze frame, it wouldn't be so bad, but it's the fact that, like, I turn into some kind of weird modern art piece.
Yeah.
Sorry, my camera froze for people not watching. Oh, I've lost my train of thought.
Vlogging again.
Yeah, so that's nice. Although, like I say, it's because whenever I've vlogged before, I've only used my phone. And it's been a long old while since I've operated a camera of like professional quality, because we learned a bit of how to operate them and things in drama school, because they're like, look, a lot of the stuff you're going to work on will be kind of like indie films, or, you know, like that kind of stuff, short films, where they'll probably have need of, like, you know, could you just press record on this or hold this or whatever. And also, it just, as someone that's working in that industry, it's always good to know what is what, because then you feel more confident and comfortable in that environment. So, like, I have a like ground understanding of how like a more professional camera works, but I'm just kind of getting used to it. And so, like, the first couple of vlogs, I'm sure, are not going to be the best quality, because I probably won't have figured out all of the settings and stuff. But I'd rather just do it and then figure it out as I go, because I don't have the patience to do it any other way. And I am currently obviously still working on, oh my God, I'm gonna yawn, I'm so sorry.
Well, while you eat on as well, and just before you move on to the next thing, it's probably worth, just for people who might be new to the podcast, people that might be a little bit fresh who haven't heard, because I don't think we've specifically said this stuff for a while. What is the purpose of the vlogs, and what's all of that for?
Oh yeah, that's probably a good shout. So if you are new to just my ramblings, basically,
God bless you, it's a journey.
it is a journey. I really try. I suffer with chronic mental health issues, or mental ill health issues. CPD, not CBD, that's the oil that I take for my anxiety. I'm so tired. CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. EID, depression, anxiety, insomnia, body dysmorphia, stress disorder. I think I covered all of them. And it's something that I have to live with every day, and, you know, has been a real journey to get to a point where I am comfortable in saying that I'm safe around myself, and that, like, and I've put in so much fucking work. Like, it's unreal the amount of work you have to put in just to get to a place that other people consider like normal. And the truth is, I was saying this actually earlier on the vlog, is that how I feel doesn't change. Like, I still feel furious about things. I still feel like devastated about things, and because EID is emotional intensity disorder, so my emotions are massive, and I still have all of those. It's just now I also have the education of how to step outside of it and trying to figure out whether it's relevant, whether it's because, you know, something's been triggered in my head and all the rest of it. And it is exhausting because I have to do it constantly. So yeah, so we're already on a journey, because I've taken like a one-way street down a B road. But yeah, so mental health and creativity, because that's basically what saved my life. And I'm also a single parent, so it's about basically showing that it is possible to live a fulfilling life, and a life of your design, and a life of purpose, no matter kind of, you know, what your brain might tell you to the contrary. Obviously we all have different lives, and we live in different worlds, and you know, are different people, but it's just with the hope that I can show people that it can be done, but like not in a like glossy way, just in a like, yeah, I feel like shit most of the time, but I'm still going, and look, oh look, I'm crying now for no reason, but we'll carry on. You know, it's just, I just want to kind of, so that people don't feel like they're the one person that's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I always, when people say, you know, you're not alone, there is a real thing in me that's like, I wish I kind of was alone, because I hate the fact that other people feel like this. And what you've just said to me to make me feel better is like, don't worry, I know you're bleeding out, but so are millions of other people. Like, I never understood that. But if I can make one person just see it and go, oh my God, like she really fucking struggles to remember to brush her teeth as well. Okay, I'm not a freak. This is just something that happens when you are not looked after as a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So yeah, it's just that small thing that I perfectly whittled down into a 1-sentence pitch of what it's about.
You have reached your floor. Yeah, no, I think that that's really huge just to linger on for a second, just because obviously a lot of the conversations we've had, a lot of like the development of the Masters of None brand and all the other things that you do, really speaks to a lot of what I say a lot on this podcast, which is like, whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that's your unique voice, that's powerful for someone. Like, one of the most motivating lessons I ever learned was like, no matter where you're at in your journey, there's someone behind you that could benefit from what it is you have to say. And it's totally true, unless you're like, you know, Dave Evans from Guildford, who is at the bottom of the ladder, and sorry Dave, like there has to be someone. I'm no, but like but
he could shout up the ladder like, guys, hurry up, it's filling up with water down here.
Yeah, exactly, like canary in the coal mine. But like there really is that kind of power behind it. And if you've got something that, you know, is a challenge that you're like, I just want to vent and put this out there, like you will find undoubtedly somebody who will resonate with the work that you do. And it doesn't have to be thousands upon hundreds of thousands upon millions of people in that tribe, but you can reach someone and have real like genuine, honest human connections with other people. I think I might have mentioned on this podcast before, there was a video I saw of a woman who was streaming on Twitch, and I believe she was she suffered from some kind of disability, and just by herself, and she was just streaming just because she wanted to, and like no one was watching. And then one woman came across, started chatting to her, and it turned out that like she had these disabilities and all these troubles, and she just wanted to like, you know, find company. And then suddenly loads of other people who were in her position flocked to the Twitch because, you know, the beacons had been lit. And like you just suddenly have this community of people that are all about the same thing and can talk to each other and can relate. And like, yeah, there's a real power to understanding that you're not really ever alone. And by also harnessing your favorite way of sharing information, which is, you know, video content, like you love all that kind of stuff, and you're very, very, very good at it. You are like, it's natural. It's really like fun to watch. And, you know, people with the flash fiction stuff will have seen some of what you've done over the last, you know, month. It's just that perfect combination of message and form that works for you. So like you found that kind of what's the bubbles?
Oh, the Venn diagram.
Like you found your sweet spot. So yeah.
It's, first of all, again, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But I find as well that like I get a benefit from it in the sense of it helps me, like it reminds me of doing things that I wouldn't normally do, because it's like there's someone with me and someone's watching me, and it's like, oh shit, I haven't brushed my teeth, or oh, you know, like, so
just a close up of like lathering toothpaste, like
so it's definitely beneficial for me, because it does help, you know, remind me to do stuff as well. But yeah, it is fun to do, even when I'm feeling like crap. Like this morning when I was filming, I was in the worst mood. And I was like, I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to hide it. Normally, like, I time lapse if I'm getting ready, but I didn't. I just filmed me getting ready and getting like more and more angry over things that aren't. And I was just like, for fuck's sake. And like, I probably was like, just, I don't even know the word, like a little bit possessed for no reason whatsoever. But there we go. Like, you want to know what it's like to live with my brain? Come along
on this wonderful ride. There you go. And so you're about to go into something else as well. What else are you?
Oh yeah, so the poetry project I have. So all the poems have been as edited as they're ever going to be by me. Because I had a problem with the proofreader that I originally went with. So I've like gone over them again. And then they're going to be proofed properly. So the book is essentially done. It's just kind of like it's just the things that make it a book that need to get done now. So yeah, that kind of stuff.
I don't know if you heard that beeping. That was my washing machine.
Oh, are your delicates done?
Oh, I don't know. I've got to check to make sure my colours haven't run into me whites.
Oh, well, it's your own fault for putting red in. You did that.
Oh, I know, but the dress needed a wash.
So yeah, the book's essentially done. And now I'm looking at, although hilariously, not just yet, doing the audiobook, which was something I was hoping to like smash next week. But if my voice is like this, I shan't be going anywhere near a microphone in that kind of way, because I'll just hurt myself, and I don't want nodules. And now I'm working on like the Kickstarter of it all. So I'm just setting up everything. I've done the cover art for the Kickstarter page. And I'm just slowly working through it. So yeah, it's not far enough along yet for me to feel excited.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like, I feel like even though I have definitely made progress and I've definitely like made strides, it doesn't feel much like it. It still kind of feels like I'm sat on my bed with a pen writing a poem. But there's a lot, like, obviously, because I'm making a feature film as well out of the poetry, there's a lot to consider. So I have to kind of like, truncate some poems, cut some out, possibly rearrange it a bit so I can get like a through line. I said it before, it's like a concept album. So, it's not a story in the strictest sense. It would go under like experimental film, God forbid. But yeah, so there is a lot of that, and then just lots of other bits and pieces that is going on the board.
Yeah.
Write it on the board.
Yeah. Again, it comes back to just chipping away.
Yeah.
Bit by bit, just moving forward, because there was a point at some point last year where it felt like the book would never be done.
Oh God, yeah.
And like,
it was just that thing. I was tied to expectations, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Which we don't need to go into. But that's still very, very exciting. And obviously, like, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at the minute. And again, that's like a very important lesson. Is like, I don't know, like 97% of the creative process is done without any eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
And, take that as you will. Like, if you're, very, very new to writing and you're like, I can get in this, I can make a quick buck, AI aside. And you're like, just write books and stuff. Like, I don't really like writing, but I'll do it just for the money. Just don't. Like, because there is so much work that goes on behind the scenes that you'll never see publicly come out on the page, on film, on whatever it is. Like, it's all just wheels turning.
Yeah, no, if you want to be famous and make money, then like be a bad hitman.
Yep.
It's much quicker.
That'll do you.
Yeah.
But so before I go into some of my updates on bits and pieces I'm working in, just to touch on some of the general activated authors things that we can probably look at now. So we are, as of recording, this is the 2nd of March, which means that as of midnight last night, officially, Flash Fiction February is over.
It's done.
It's done. So, I mean, to be fair, like, the challenge was advertised for 28 days. If you add the 36 hours for deadlines and whatnot, like 29 days, which means that the whole project in our minds has been around for about 30 days.
Yeah,
because like it was about 5 days before the actual launch. You're like, let's do this challenge. Okay,
yeah, I've got an idea. Oh no, you don't. Stop it.
Yeah, it's always in February as well. But it's, you know, in my books, it's been a massive success. We've had nearly 500 stories submitted. We both know, because we've been told by many people, that more stories were written than that, but obviously some people submitted the ones that they were very, very happy with and they wanted to see in the anthology. And we've had like a bunch of new people into the Facebook group, onto the Instagram page, listen to the podcast, over in the Slack group. So like, welcome one and all. Thank you so much for getting involved. And yeah, it's just like, we're now at the point where, so you'll have had this information already if you're listening to this podcast on the day of release, because you're not going to listen to it now because we've not published it.
That'd be weird. We've not finished it yet. If you're listening as we're recording, I want the police at your house right now, because that's stalking and hacking, and they're both illegal. So
overlords. But yeah, so there was an email coming out later today that will have all the information that you need to know what the next steps are if you took part in Flash Fiction and if you submitted. I know, Sam, you put some information up on various pages and things today. So like, if you've got any questions, if there's anything that is unclear, do reach out and get in touch. And for the people that are looking for the next challenge, the next thing after they finish Flash Fiction, like, there's a whole load of stuff that we do over at Activated Authors you can get involved in. First and foremost being obviously our writing community and our writing sprints. So we do a 30-day free trial in which you can jump over and basically get into a Slack group with myself, with Sam, with all the Activated Authors bunch, our ambassadors, Eden and Emmy. You can jump onto our live Zoom sprints and sit in rooms like this with us while we, you know, do work and talk about work and all that kind of stuff. Tomorrow, which is will be Friday the 3rd of March, we've got our Activated Authors social.
We do.
It really is like a very comprehensive writing community where, you know, your questions actually get answered and you actually you know, create bonds with people to help you be less alone when you're writing.
Yeah, I do think that, like, one of the things that I love the most, because again, like, it can feel disingenuous almost now, me saying it, because obviously I'm on the podcast and like I do a lot of work behind the scenes, but like I did not know Dan.
It didn't always start this way.
No, like I didn't know Dan when I first jumped into the boot camp way back in the pandemic days, and it really like very quickly became something very different for me, because like, obviously, you know, you have a lot of information out there. The internet is a wonderful and horrifying place. And there are, you know, like YouTube, for example, you've got Jenna and many other people, I'm sure, but let's be real. I mainly just watch Jenna. But the thing is that, like, there are these amazing resources that you can access completely free, including things like Facebook pages, which again are wonderful. But they lack voice, in the sense of it's difficult to have a real conversation. It's difficult to be heard, and because everyone wants their questions answered. So the answer to your question is someone asking a question, and that's not helpful. And really what this is it's just sitting in a room with your friends and doing what you love, and having access to people that are further along the journey than you that will help if you need it. And also it's a wonderful place for just like, if you like dick jokes, come along, because like, it is definitely a group for adults, but yeah, it's a beautiful place where you actually get to see people and talk to them, and it feels like there's no comparison in my mind. Like, they are completely different things, kind of having like an online group where it's all text, and what we have, because I really do think what you have created is something so special. It really is. It's a home, I think, for like misfits, so like that are writers, you know. So like, if you feel like you're a bit of a misfit, come along.
Yeah, jump in. As I say, it's 30 days. It's no obligation. You can cancel literally at any point. Like, I had a call with an author this week where I've kind of emphasized that point that, you know, try it. Like, if it doesn't work for you, I don't want you in there, and not in a mean way, but like, there's no point you sticking in a place that doesn't work for you. If it does work for you, fantastic, like, awesome, like, that's exactly what we want. But I'm not afraid to tell someone if, you know, they might be a better fit elsewhere, because it doesn't serve anyone if you're in a place that doesn't feel right for you. And so, yeah, it's a wonderful little platform. Obviously, me and you are in there as well. Like, we're on sprints, we're on all that kind of stuff. So you'll see more of me and Sam. So yeah, if you want to give that a go, try it out. Why the hell not? And then the other thing to mention as well, we've kind of touched on it briefly a couple of points over the last couple of months or so, is this April will be the first time that I am extending my 50k writing camp to a couple of times throughout the year. So normally that's every November, and I help guide
for no reasons whatsoever, just
no
it happened that way.
So I guide and coach authors from writing 0 to 50,000 words of their book in 30 days. That's happening in April as well. So if you want to try it, and if you're up for that challenge, you want to give it a go, you can find out that information at activatedauthors.com/50k. As part of that, I'm also running a free 5-day challenge on the 13th to the 17th of March, I believe it is, which you can sign up for as well. That all the information for that's on the website. And that is essentially 5 days of content in which I help you get yourself prepared for writing lots and lots of words in April. So that covers, you know, how to adapt all of your writing around your life, what kind of things that you need to have for your story in place in order to be able to successfully write forward, a bunch of mindset and psychology stuff in there as well. So all the information is at activatedauthors.com. Up in the tab at the top, there's 50k preppers, there's 50k writing, like all that kind of stuff. So those are 2 options if you're looking for the next step of whatever it is after Flash Fiction February. And the final one is there's only a couple of weeks left to sign up to my 0 to Author program, which is 6 months of me essentially hand-holding people through the entire publishing process. So taking you from your own goals, working out how writing can fit around your life, working out your genre, doing market research, going into how to plan a successful book, how to plot, how to write, how to create a writing routine and habit, all the way through into how to work with editors, how to format a book, how to work with cover designers, how to market a book, how do you publish, what are the different platforms, how do you price your strategies, how do you build a writing brand, and how do you develop your platform in a way that is successful, sustainable, and perfect for your writing life. So all of that is going to happen over 6 months. If you've it's a lot.
Zero to hero, just like that.
Even I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But it's absolutely achievable. Like, I've developed the entire program. I've spent months at this point now working on how it's all going to look behind the scenes. We've already got our first bunch of people over in the Slack, getting to know each other. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, if you want me to literally, as I say, handhold you through the process of getting yourself from 0 to author, then head on over to activatedauthors.com/author for all of the information that you will need.
I'm so excited for that. I've watching you work on that and like see you be excited at being able to like properly help people, like you say, from nothing. From nothing as in like I don't mean like
well, no, so this is the thing, because it can be so if you're brand new to the space, like, you will learn everything that you need by the end of that 6 months to understand what it is to be an author in the 21st century. If you've written some stories already and you're confident as a writer, but you just have no idea how to publish and get your books into your hand, I've got you covered. But also, if you've written and published a few stories and you're just not getting the reception that you wish to from different readers, like, there's lots of stuff, because this program is built on my own process that, you know, I started writing in 2014. At this point, I've written over 130 different works across short stories, novels, novellas, nearly 4 million published words. Like, I've got thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews. And so I feel somewhat confident in how to write a book that reaches the correct readers. And that part is going to be fundamentally key to a lot of what this program is. So even if you publish a few books and you're just not sure quite what's going wrong, then you might find somewhere along the line. And again, this is something that we cover a lot on this podcast, but like, it's about more than just writing, which is like the bane of the writer's existence, because so many of us start just wanting to write stories, but then once you've written that story and you're proud of it, you're like, how the fuck do I reach readers? And if you're choosing to pursue traditional publishing, we're now in an ecosystem in which you still need to somewhat have a grasp on how to run a business and manage your marketing and switch hats from creative to
an audience
stuff. How to connect with an audience.
Most publishers and agents will go nowhere near an untested writer anymore. it's gross. It really is gross.
Yeah, there's a big trend of YouTubers getting approached by publishers because they've already got like a platform of hundreds of thousands of people that read their
because
book.
it's a smart marketing strategy. Like,
yeah,
it saves them so much time, so much money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they know that people are going to buy the book. So yeah, like no matter whether you want to be like traditionally, well, whether you would like to pursue traditional publishing, whether you'd like to pursue being a hybrid or an indie, like the truth of the matter is that marketing and reaching readers really is your purview, whether you want it to be or not. So yeah, it behooves you to kind of have some strategies in place, because otherwise you're just going to be shouting at your Auntie Linda. Read the book, Linda!
I see a lot of it. It's very interesting seeing like first-time authors' Twitter feeds. And I know, and that's no judgment because mine was exactly the same. And I've learned a lot. Also, this is total segue. I've got like the camera, my hair is very copper there. I don't know what that's about. Oh, it's because it's my hair underneath.
That's your skin, babe.
Ignore that. So yeah, that sounds like something you want to get involved in. That's activatedauthors.com/author. And just before I jump into my project and things, I do just want to say a big thank you to the people that came to the Zero to Author webinar, because like we had people joining at like 3 a.m. over from Taiwan, which I was like, that is very, very flattering. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I know like Friday's not always the best day for people, but god damn it,
you did an awesome job as well. Can I just say?
Appreciate it.
Like I was very impressed.
It's been a while since I've presented.
So
yeah, that might come back again. We'll see. But yeah, as I say, like there's so much that we do behind the scenes. Like, and one thing that I'm very conscious of with a lot of our members is that if there's something that you want to see from Activated Authors that we're not yet providing, then let us know, and we'll do our best to find a way to work that into what we do and make that happen. Like, if there's enough of a popular demand for it, then we'll do it. So
yes, please.
Yes.
So all that being done and said, and everything that we've just finished saying, and haven't taken a massive break because I'm a single mum who had to let her kid in the front door. What have you been up to, Dan? Creatively, please, and thank you. If you don't mind, if you could share with us.
Nothing. Just nothing.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it's definitely me. No, I've got a few pots boiling.
My head was irons in the fire. I was like, he's going to say irons in the fire, but you said pots boiling.
Yeah, no, I've got like a list of things that I'm kind of chipping away at and doing that are in various stages. So the Nowhere line has been with readers, like a select handful of readers from the start of February. So he's starting to get drip feeding of feedback back, which is very, very positive at this point, which I'm very, very happy about.
It fucking should be, because it's stunning.
Thank you. So yeah, that's quite nice. I've got a few more people I'm waiting to hear back from, and then I'm going to look at what my options are going forward with that, because I do think with this book I'm going to at least present it to some publishers to see if it'll do anything. And I'll kind of like go into this a little bit, but like specifically that is for a reason, because I'm huge on self-publishing. Like, I hate having to wait. I hate having to put my book in the hands of other people for them to realize whatever vision of my vision they want to do. Not against it, it's a path for everyone, but for me specifically, like, one of the things that I do want to achieve in the next few years is certain awards and achievements and things, and having the backing of a publishing house still does have some credit and some standing in particularly the horror arena, but in a lot of arenas as well. So it's one of those that I'm going to put this book forward just to experiment a bit, just to explore that side of things. Because, I mean, again, like, I've got people in Activated Authors who are going down that route, and I want to understand more and help more where I can. So we'll see what comes out of that. As I say, I've not put any speed into that yet, just because, other things going on, and I'm still waiting for the feedback to drip in. So I am beyond proud of the book. It is very unlike a lot of my more commercial stuff. It is very just me, really. Like a lot of playing with language and things, which I really, really enjoy. So that's one thing. I have a collaboration in the works that I've been first drafting for about a year and a half at this point with well, I'll say it, none other than Julie from Activated Authors. So we're working on a horror book at the minute, which we're beginning to get to the end of the first draft, and then we'll kind of discuss what goes on from that. But it's been an amazing experience. Like I love Julie from head to foot, and she's just a fantastic person, great writer as well. So it'll be interesting to see what this kind of amalgamation of our voices becomes, because that's the thing with collaborations, is like you really have to separate yourself from the product, because you know, I've obviously because we're taking it in turns with perspectives, and obviously I'm going to write very much in my way, she's going to write in her way, and then when it comes to the editing, we've got to work out how to, you know, level that out, smooth it all over, and those kind of things. But that's sort of fun. So that's a very, at this point, low pressure, we're just chipping away at it, making it happen, which is also very different from a lot of the stuff I've done in the past, which has been very, very deadline led.
I love that for you, though. I think.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, I think like actually being able to take your time on something.
It's very strange.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, because even when there's not a deadline, I like to just dive into a project and give it my whole. Whereas because this has been a year and a half in the making, and like we've switched back and forth on quite a few occasions, there's been a lot of reminding yourself of story parts so you can keep the story moving forward. But at the same time, it still plays very much into my ethos of, you know, this is the first draft.
Yes.
So once the skeleton is there, we can then look at what's missing and what is awesome and what we can do to shape it into a book. I also have another collaboration project which is in its very, very early stages, which I can't say too much about, but I am quite excited because it's taken a lot of like stuff that I've learned from my own writing over the last year, partnered with a very, very impressive talent.
Yeah.
See what comes out of that. So that's,
I love it when you call me an impressive talent. It makes me feel really it's not me. It's not me.
And yeah, that's in very, very early planning phases. So we've had a few talks back and forth about what we want to achieve, what we want to do. And we're kind of just shaping the story and beginning to, I'm going to be first drafting this one. So we're beginning to look at what that first draft looks like. Yeah. And just kind of like because again, like with collaborations, depending who it's with and how you've approached it, like this is a person I don't really have a long personal history with.
Yeah.
So we're feeling out like each other's sort of working patterns and how that all kind of goes forward and things. But yeah, that's, as I say, sort of chipping away. And then what else is going on? I've got a couple of books that are first drafted that I just can't get to at the minute because of other things going on. And then oh yeah, the other one is the Halloween story for the Other Stories podcast.
Yes, of course.
So for context, again, for people who might be a bit new, the Other Stories is a podcast that I started with the other guys over at Hawk and Cleaver back in 2016, which very quickly went from 0 downloads to we're celebrating over 10 million now, which is ridiculous. Like, never would have dreamed. And every year we do a special Halloween episodic story. So we've done The Witching Hour, we've done the horrors at the house at Old Mill Lane. One year we had Bram Stoker award-winning Keelan Patrick Burke give us one of his stories for us to produce on there, which escapes me the name of it, which I feel really bad for, but like it's such a good story. Like Keelan is such a good writer. And yeah, so this year I'm taking the mantle of writing the story of the Halloween story, and I'm taking two very, very well-known properties and combining them together and having a lot of fun playing with that. So that's very, very early drafting stage. I've finished one episode so far, and yeah, just putting all those pieces together. So, you know, that as well as, you know, running the Activated Author stuff, looking at the coaching programs, all that kind of stuff. I've realized I'm doing this update. I hate doing these kind of updates because it reminds me how much I'm doing. And this was at a point in which I've actually dialed back on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm saying this is exactly like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously you have, I'm not being like, we have the exact amount, same stuff going on, but yeah, it's crazy. Just when you just like, before you even get to anything you're doing outside of just living, do you know how much admin comes in for just living?
7 admins.
7 admins, too many. That's 6.5 too many admins. Yeah. We've got enough admins.
Yeah. And then the other thing, because there is one more thing that's not fiction based, but it's just an avenue that I'm playing with at the minute. Is I'm doing web design.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, so
You're so good at it. It's insane.
Well, so I've worked in marketing and brand specifically for like nearly 10 years now. A big chunk of my old day job, I used to work very, very closely with the web development team and learned a lot of stuff then. I've made every single one of my websites in each of its iterations and forms for the last, again, like 7-8 years. And learned a lot, and it's something that I find quite therapeutic, something that I find actually quite easy, but which I know that a lot of people struggle with. And so I have very tentatively and quietly offered to a few specific people who I know either need a revamp or are looking to start their business. And at the minute, I'm just kind of playing with the mechanisms of what that would look like to offer as a service. So I've got like an author website that I'm putting together for someone. I've got a site for a friend of mine who's her photography business has been going for a while, but she wants a website for it. And yeah, just playing with that. So, it's something that you can watch out for, because if you want your website for your author business, and I've built a lot of websites. I've done the Activated Authors website,
yeah,
Devil's Rock one. I did the Other Stories website. Obviously done my own. Then watch this space, because there might be some stuff coming soon. But I want to keep it quiet at the minute, like in the sense of like how many people I take on, just to iron out the kinks of what the process looks like. And I've already found like a bunch of stuff that I've now overcome, worked through, realized what some of the barriers might be for people. And yeah, that's where it's at. So all of that to come. So yeah, there is a fair chunk. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, also on the surface it sounds like a lot, but if you look at, like, for example, the book that I'm doing with Julie, I write a chapter maybe once every 3 weeks, like, because of just how we hand it back and forth. Like other things in the early planning stage, yeah, like it's just trying to squeeze it all in and finding, like, just chipping away a little bits at a time. So yeah, lots of that stuff going on.
You just reminded me that I'm going to be first drafting Phoenix this year.
Oh yeah, November.
And also I've got Heir to the Universe still going.
You didn't write that down?
No, I have written it down. It's just that's what's on there at the minute is the Frostbite stuff. I just forgot to mention it when I was saying about the stuff. So like, that's my first novel.
I can't wait. I mean, I've already read it. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but I can't wait.
Well, yeah, it needs a lot more, but yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think there's probably some stuff that I'm missing, but again, just a reminder for people that this is my full-time job, so that is why I have a lot of that stuff going on. But yeah, I've got the move and all that kind of stuff to figure out now. So one thing I am very, very keenly doing is taking stock of what I can fit it within my time, but also just communicating with the people that are involved. So I think that stuff always annoys me when people just like go quiet, and I'm like, just tell me what the situation is, so we can work through it. So yeah, I'm just reaching out to some of the people at the minute and being like, I'm probably going to need like just a bit of a 2-month breather.
I'm on hiatus while I put out the flames of my life.
yeah. So stand by. But yeah, is there anything you want to add before we round off this little update episode? Anything you want to say about flash fiction?
Yeah, thank you, is what I want to say about flash fiction. Like, I genuinely, like, I've had a blast, and it's been so lovely, like, popping into the Facebook group most days and having little chats with people. I'm really just genuinely impressed by a lot of people's gumption and
nice word.
Thank you. And just their attitude towards it, because I think a lot of the time with these kind of challenges, it can feel like you miss a day and, well, what's the point? But actually, to see some of the people that have jumped in, and for them to be like, I'm not doing today because of this, but I'll be back tomorrow. And it's just like, yes, that's the exact right attitude. Like, or there was one person that said, I'm viewing this challenge as a way for me to play with different genres and things. I'm like, that is exactly what, like, so it's just, yeah, it's been really lovely to see that it's attracted people that have just wanted to, my voice is going, have wanted to play. So yeah, it's been wonderful. And just like on a personal note, because obviously I am a lot less well known than you are, so the fact that like it's been my face on the videos and things and people have still gotten involved, I'm just blown away. And yeah, just a big thank you for everyone, and I really genuinely am very excited to like sit down with the biggest cup of coffee ever and get cracking and reading, because yeah it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's been, again, considering it came out of left field, like
that's where I live, baby.
But appreciate, like, you know, there were some technical kinks at the beginning that needed to be worked through, all that kind of stuff. This is the first time we've run a challenge like this, so yeah, just thank you to everyone who's been very vocal, very active, and gotten involved. And I'm the same as you, like I'm very, very looking forward to seeing what has been produced from this. And also, just before we wrap up, I want to just do a quick shout out to a couple of new members that we've had jump into this week. So
yes, please.
We've got Shane joined us, Kiz has joined us, and Claire has joined us. So welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to have you, and can't wait to see what you bring to the community.
Yeah, it's been so lovely. I'm very excited. It always makes me happy when we get new members.
Oh, I love it. You just feel like a surge in energy.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like, it's just, yeah, it's really lovely, and I'm very happy about it.
Makes sound great. All right, well, we'll wrap up there for this week. So just a reminder, everything, like, I won't give you individual links to all the stuff that's been mentioned on the Activated Authors website. Just go to activatedauthors.com to find out everything you need to know. And if you have been on the Flash Fiction February mailing list, as I say, like, by now you should have received an email, but I will keep you on that mailing list for any future challenges, because we do have some ideas for things that we want to do later this year. So it's definitely not the last of that kind of thing that we're going to be putting together. But I guess there's nothing left to say other than a massive thank you to you, the listeners, for tuning in. We appreciate. I
said so smooth. I did it on purpose to trip you up,
mate. We appreciate you and the time you choose to spend with us each week. And as always, if you're looking to level up your writing and activate
sell the business
career, head on over to https
oh my god
/ activated authors.com to find out all about community, our resources, and everything else that we've got going on. One more time from myself and from Sam. We will see you next week.
Goodbye. I'm going to go see if that .com is a legitimate business that I can start up. I don't know what it would be, but I have a period, and
I feel like you'll need to turn your safe search filter off.
Huh?
Goodbye.
Activate your energy.